Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Dyro here with another Options in Play video update. First off, want to say thanks to those of you that stuck around yesterday for our option session. So it was it was kind of like a quick one because we got together just last week. However, it was I felt like a good time because it's right at the beginning of earnings season and actually right at the beginning of a pretty key month of trading because July is going to be slammed in terms of like news. So we definitely broke down a lot of different setups, talked about a lot of different things, both like technical and option wise. And if you weren't able to make it, check it out. Let me know if you have any questions. All right. Um, now, we spoke about earnings. Though the next time we get together, which will be in 2 weeks, we will speak a lot more about earnings because then we'll be kind of in the heart of the quarter. Right now, we're still kind of waiting. Earnings season kicks off towards the end of next week with the bank reports, and as we get closer to earnings, I mean, one of our strategies that we really love is those ramp into the report trades, and um, there's basically three key ingredients for a ramp into report trade, and unfortunately for a lot of stocks, we're missing a few of those ingredients. All right. So as you start to screen for ramp into reports, what I look for is um, a earnings consistency. So I want a stock that has consistently delivered good numbers, quarter at least 2 quarters, but I mean the longer the better, right? Because the more consistent, the more solid the numbers have been, then the more confidence traders have for that stock as earnings approach, right? So if the company's beat and raised like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 quarters in a row, well then, odds are traders are going to start to grow up more optimistic on the stock as earnings get closer because the company is consistently delivered, right? So earnings consistency. Second thing is like sector performance, right? So you want, which is kind of like a subset of that one, right? You want to see like good action in like the sector, right? Because I mean, if you have like kind of like lousy trading, and this like kind of revolves around like the technicals, right? Like if you have like just like weak price action where stocks are below moving averages, below resistance, right? Just kind of like steady downtrends, like you have with like the banks right now. It makes like a more challenging setup, right? Because what you really want to see for a ramp is like kind of like an open window for the stocks to rally, right? Like you don't want like multiple levels of resistance overhead because like those are all prices it needs to clear to really kind of get momentum going, right? So you want like a good action in the sector, or maybe just like more specifically just like that one stock, because you're really targeting like a big move in like a short window, right? So if you're looking at trades like 3 to 5 days out, well, you don't want the stock to have to like chop around and try to get through the 8 EMA or the 20 day for like 3 or 4 days, right? Because that kind of takes away the potential for the trade. So you want like good technical action where there's like a path where the stock can rally quickly in a short period, right? And then lastly, the third thing is overall market activity, right? Overall market action. I mean, whether you like it or not, a lot of stocks right now are moving with the overall market. So if the market isn't in like a consistent trend, and if it's up huge one day and down huge the next, which for the most part it kind of is, it can make it kind of tough, right? Because if you're like, the window for these ramp into the report trades for me is usually like 3 to 5 days out from earnings, right? So it's a very short window. Now, if the market's moving in your favor, that's great. It provides like a tailwind, right? But when volatility is high and there's not a consistent trend in the tape, it can be a little bit more challenging to really like spot those setups and then capitalize, because if the market's up huge and down huge, right? I mean, it can kind of weigh on a lot of stocks. So there's a lot going on right now that's making these ramp into the report setups challenging. So when you are looking for them, and I will be looking for them this quarter, but when you do start looking for them, make sure the setups fit those criteria, right? So like right now, like the banks don't really fit that, right? Like I'm looking at some of the airlines, right? Airlines like Delta reports next week. To me, it doesn't really like fit that type of setup. On the other hand, UNH, maybe it does, right? I mean, healthcare has been acting great. there's so these are so the reason I bring it up is like J.P. Morgan, Delta, and UNH all report earnings next week. Okay, so when you like look through like those three, just comparing the three, and I know there's gonna be a lot more other ones, but if I was just to look at it, right, like which of the three would maybe fit the bill more as a rampant to report candidate, right? JP Morgan, not so much. Delta, not so much. UNH, well, they have a pretty consistent history of delivering. The stock is above a lot of key levels, right? There's really no major resistance for a little way. And the last piece of the puzzle is if the market keeps grinding higher, right? So if the market keeps grinding higher and healthcare keeps acting well, then maybe this does fit the bill for a rampant to report. But again, 3 to 5 days out. So these things got to line up. And if they do, then maybe I'll take a shot. But I mean, there's definitely fewer stocks that fit the bill right now because there's been a lot of damage done. I mean, last quarter wasn't particularly great for a lot of different companies. So that earnings consistency also isn't there. So, things to consider. All right, things to kind of keep in the back of your mind if you're looking for these rampant report style trades. But what I do know is that action can change really, really quickly in this tape. So, things can go from acting lousy to acting great in a matter of days. And with the CPI next Wednesday, I feel like that's going to be a big event. So we might get a lot more rampant report setups in the near future, depending on how next week goes. All right. So if you like this video and you're looking for more information about trading earnings and these rampant report trades, please follow up with the link in the description of the video for more information on options to play. Have a great night.